Hello and welcome back to the final day of Inkmas 2024 here over at the My Dandelion Diaries YouTube channel. Man, what a ride we have had. It is the big door, it is the big ink of the calendar, and I'm gonna guess it's gonna be a black ink just because from previous calendars, every time the big door is like the color of the box. Like the purple calendar had a purple ink, green calendar had a green ink. So I'm really betting today's gonna be a black, but I'm really curious to see what kind of properties they did, especially with all of the new kind of stuff we had going on this year in the calendar. But without further ado, let's open up this final door and see what we have for the finale of Black Diamine Inkvent. Alrighty, so for our 30 ml bottle, looks like it's called Good Tidings. And on the side here, we actually have a label. This is new. They haven't done this in previous years. And it says Extreme Sheen. So doesn't seem we're going to get any shimmer with this one, which I'm kind of okay with, especially because I've enjoyed a lot of the extreme sheens this year. But let's go ahead and swatch this out and see what kind of sheening, maybe dark purple, dark green. I don't know. I can't really figure out what color this is, but it's definitely a very dark blackish ink for sure. Okay, so Good Tidings is definitely a black, but I would consider this more of a purple black. It definitely has almost a reddish tone to it, and the sheen is kind of like a green black. It's really pretty. It's Christmassy for a black ink. I will give it to Diamine. This is pretty neat. I was heavily inspired by a Instagrammer. I think it's 𝗦𝘃𝗽𝗆 here, and I believe she also has a YouTube channel. I think it's called Julia here, and she has been doing her advent calendars on Instagram Reels, and she's been doing these really cool like spoon drawings with like her fountain pen nibs too, and I was heavily inspired and just had to give it a try myself, and really actually enjoyed kind of drawing out my little Christmas tree with my 𝗂𝗡𝗵 nib. Really props to you, Julia. This is such a fun way to swatch inks. Anyways, back to the ink itself. It is definitely a reddish purple black with the green sheen that is also kind of a black green. Very interesting. And it's also very matte. It doesn't seem very oil slick or anything. So for a sheening ink, I can get behind a matte sheen because I feel like those do better in the long term. At least they're not as smudgy in my experience. But definitely a really cool one, and definitely a Christmassy black, which I didn't think was even possible. So good job, Diamine, for this one. I can definitely get behind this being the last ink. This is pretty neat. But let me break out my swatch book and see what I have that's kind of close to this. Blacks are a bit hard to compare, so I hope I have something similar. And if not, at least this ink will be available in full bottle at some point. Okay, so here I have my black inks. I don't know how many are going to be super similar just because I know a lot of blacks just look black. So this one I feel is pretty unique for blacks just because of the sheen that it has. And the base is a bit more of a purple black, or a cool toned black, if you will. It definitely has a bit of a pull to it, and it's kind of hard to compare, especially because everything is black, right? I did kind of do a little bit of a water swatch on the side here so we could actually see the base color, but you can see the greenish sheen going on this side. So it's kind of easy to tell with the sheen or without the sheen, but with the sheen it's going to be hard to compare. But I don't see anything here on the first page. The base of it's kind of close to Sailor Black. I feel like Sailor Black pulls slightly more red, but it's not by much. It's also kind of close to Sailor Shikiori's. I think it's 𝗂𝗡𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 those. I'd say it's kind of close to Watermelon Black, but Watermelon Black has a bit of a reddish sheen. Okay, it's very similar to Pilot Iroshizuku's Takesumi, which is actually one of my favorite blacks. The Pilot ink does not have the sheen though, but the base of these are close in that they're a bit more of like that red-purple lean. I think Takesumi fits firmly more in the black side, and Good Tidings pulls slightly more purple, but still really interesting there. Also kind of close to Kaweco's Pearl Black, which is another one of those kind of more red-toned blacks, but again, no sheen with that one. I just want to compare it to Troublemaker's Polar Lights just because the ink is so fun. Polar Lights has a blue to purple shimmer that is just absolutely gorgeous. And the base color is slightly more of a purple black, but they're not that similar because it's sheen versus shimmer. But if you wanted a shimmery black ink, definitely check out Polar Lights. It is so, so pretty. Yeah, not a lot of, I'd say, purple toned blacks in my black families. Let me break out my purple swatches and see if I have anything that's that close, because I do put my purple blacks in the purples. Okay, it is definitely purple black. Okay, I feel validated. Birmingham Pen Company's Byzantium is one of my favorite purple blacks right now, and it is almost identical in the shade. I think Good Tidings pulls slightly, like minusculely more red, and it has the green sheen, but if you wanted a non-sheening version and you can get a hold of it, definitely check out Birmingham's Byzantium. If you wanted a slightly more purple version, Kiwi Ink's A Witch's Potion has a crazy green sheen with it too. So sheening wise, they're kind of close, but base wise, I think A Witch's Potion pulls slightly more purple and Good Tidings is definitely more black. It's very similar to Monteverde's Elephant in the base. Elephant still pulls slightly, super slightly more purple, and Good Tidings is more black. I think in a pen, you wouldn't really be able to tell too much of a difference though. There is no sheen on Elephant though. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, it's kind of close to Wearingeul's The Plague, which I actually am going to be having inked up for January. The Plague has a bit more of a reddish, like bruisey shimmer, and Good Tidings is sheen, and Good Tidings definitely has that kind of greenish black sheen, but the base of these are similar in that they're more of like a deep, you know, purple black. Very pretty. Kind of cool to see that I could do either one, but I'm definitely going to do The Plague. I think The Plague is going to fit more for what I want for January. Yeah, I think we had a few dupes, at least in terms of the base color of this. I really don't think I have anything like this with sheen. Very, very cool. I do like that it is a bit more of a Christmas black in a way, just because it is slightly like a reddish black with the green sheen. I don't know, it's kind of fun. But let me do a writing sample with this and see if we can pull out any other properties, at least in writing. I think it's going to sheen pretty heavy just because of what it's doing on this card, but I'm really excited for this one, and I think it's a great way to end a black Inkvent for sure. Okay, here we have that writing sample, and as expected, it is a very legible ink. It is black, and I do think it does pull more purple with the green sheen, and it's just really, really lovely. This was honestly so much fun to write with. It flowed beautifully. I had no issues at all in my dip nib. Gives me really good hope to use it in a pen at some point. I really enjoyed this one for sure. I think it would be great in any nib size. I think it'd be fun to do calligraphy practice with. I think it'd be fun to do any kind of like moody painting, especially with the kind of eerie green sheen that it's pulling a little bit. And the sheen being more matte just kind of makes it look a little smoky. It's really cool. I like this one a lot. Kind of surprised that sheen is all we got for our final ink, but I'm also kind of happy at the same time because I do think the crazier shimmery inks aren't always as usable as like a sheen ink or even a standard ink. So kind of nice to see that Diamine is changing it up a little bit. But yeah, what do you guys think about this one? I'm happy with it. I'm glad that this is the last color we got and that it is a dark one considering how many light ones we got in this calendar. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this one in the comments. Anyways, I want to wish you guys a very Merry Christmas. Stay tuned for a video later today for a final review and flip through of all of the inks from the 2024 Black Diamine Inkvent. I will also have a chance at a gift in that video for you as well. So just keep your eyes out for that coming soon. But again, Merry Christmas. Have a wonderful rest of your day, a wonderful rest of your year, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye.